Hello and welcome. My name's Sissy and I'm Timothy's widow. So before we get things rolling today, I just wanted to speak on a couple of things. First, I want to thank everyone who has found my channel and taken the time to view the content. I also want to thank those of you who have either participated in the polls or commented. The latest commenter, Terry, I want to thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate my candor and straight talk. I'm working hard on not rambling and not letting my emotions get in the way of providing content. That's not always easy. I also know it isn't easy to take a brave step and share any of your loss with the rest of the world. So thank you. Thank you for being brave enough and compassionate enough to share a glimpse into your world. In doing so, you are helping other grieving spouses recognize that what they are going through is actually very common during the grief journey, and you're letting them know that they aren't alone. Again, I am so sorry for your loss, and I hope that in some way, some of my future content might be able to help you. So second, yes, I have noticed a very slow growth for my channel, and that is what I want to speak about today. That is, as long as I don't stumble over my words, so please forgive me for that. Now, this is not any kind of big, exciting, large amount of growth. But you would think that as a content creator, I would be excited to see growth from my channel. I mean, that's the part of the plan for so many people. Get thousands of subscribers and make lots of money. That was never really my objective. I mean, sure, if the channel does well enough and brings me a little extra money to help offset some of what I lost when I lost hubby, that's great. But my overall objective is to talk about and to share my own grief journey, provide educational content and resources, and to grow a community where those who have lost a loved one can come and know that they aren't alone in this journey. So, every time I get a new subscriber and more views, it breaks my heart because either someone has lost their loved one or someone is stepping up as a human and supporting someone who lost their loved one. Now, I never expect to join the ranks of the world-famous YouTubers because, let's be real, grief is not a glamorous subject to talk about. Sure, there are channels out there that will show me and you how to make a better raisin-filled cookies. There are channels out there that will talk in depth for hours about all things Star Trek. And there are channels out there related to all things beautiful about playing the flute. For me, that's happy content. At one time, hubby and I wanted to start a YouTube channel for him, something for his music, which was his passion. So we had already started learning about YouTube. Sadly, we never reached that point, and so here I am today, speaking about the very not glamorous world of loss and grief. Oh, people want to talk about music and cookies. People don't want to talk about grief, and I get that. So many of us have shared how people vanish in our lives after we lose our loved one. And it makes a little more sense to me now since I'm nearing the end of my second year. But in the beginning, it sure as heck didn't make any sense. But you see, grief is a messy topic. It's not like the mess you make in your kitchen when you're baking wonderful cookies. Grief is messy, as in it's emotional, complex, confusing, challenging, sad, And it's damn frightening. For many people, they choose to avoid grieving spouses because their mental health cannot take any more overload. It isn't because they don't care, but it's just too much for them. We can kind of look at it like this. Our world has changed since I graduated from high school back in the 80s. It's changed a hell of a lot. Things are more chaotic, political, and there's a universe full of sensory overload from the news and from social media. For many people, they simply have to make the decision to walk away and avoid a lot of that sensory overload, just to maintain their own mental health. I think that's part of the reason why so many people seemingly go out of their way to avoid those of us who have lost a loved one. It's not that they don't care, they simply aren't wired good enough to take it all. I think of it like Data's daughter on Next Generation, which was one of the Star Trek series. She was in the process of learning to be human, but her android system suffered a neural net cascade failure, and she had to be deactivated. Since I love Star Trek, I speak Star Trek, it makes sense for me to view all of the vanishing people from a grieving spouse's life as those who could possibly suffer a similar cascade failure. And it is in their best interest to simply shy away from grief. They may not even realize that they are doing it intentionally. It may simply be instinct. So I'm trying not to judge people as harshly as I did in the beginning of my grief journey. So, while I welcome every new person who stumbles onto my channel with loving arms, and I send you love and hugs and my support and my sympathy and everything that I can send to you, it also breaks my heart to understand what you're going through, even if our grief journey is not exactly the same. And that, my friend, is the reason for me feeling conflicted about the growth on my YouTube channel. I know I should be excited to know that my channel is emerging out there in the land of YouTube, and even more people are beginning to discover it. But the very reason for my channel's existence is very much removed from all of those other glamour channels. I'm not baking cookies. I'm not totally concentrating my topics about Star Trek. And I'm not showing you where the best places are to travel to in Scotland. Now, if you comment something about Trek in the comment section, I will speak with you happily on that topic. But I don't see that happening as often as someone commenting and saying that they're thinking they're struggling with complicated grief, or they have a need to talk about grief literature. And that's what I wanted to speak a little bit about today. Conflicted emotions. Again, part of the messy emotional roller coaster of the grief journey. So I want to thank you for spending a bit of time with me today, and I hope that as my channel continues to grow, I can continue to share my own grief journey, my failures, because I've made many, my mistakes, anything that I could consider as a win, any insight, advice. Hopefully I can offer you hope and inspiration. But above all, I want to confirm for you that you are not alone. No matter what else in your grief journey, you have me. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, I always close out by asking you the viewer, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you'll know when new content is available. As always, please feel free to comment on any of my videos. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if there is a topic that you would like to see me cover in the future. I would be honored to do it for you. And last, if you haven't done so already, please participate in the polls that I have under the community section. Your input can help me create new future content. I've been Sissy, and I'm wishing you much hope, light, and love. Until the next time, my friend, take care.